Ever pondered how ideas evolve and interact with each other to shape our understanding of the world? It's a fascinating query, isn't it? An interplay of thoughts and concepts, each influencing and molding the other, creating a complex tapestry of understanding and knowledge. This is not a random process, however. There's a method to the madness. Enter the Hegelian Dialectic, a philosophical construct that might seem daunting at first glance, but holds profound insights into the evolution of ideas and societal change. Imagine a dance of ideas, where each step, each twirl, each leap is a part of a grander scheme, a choreography. This dance, in essence, is the Hegelian Dialectic. It's a concept that explores how ideas clash, merge, and evolve, ultimately leading to the progression of thought and society as a whole. So, if you've ever wondered about the journey an idea takes from inception to widespread acceptance, the Hegelian dialectic concept, a philosophical tool used to understand this process, might just hold the answers. The Hegelian dialectic, named after German philosopher Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, breaks down this complex process into 3 stages: thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. Let's begin by unpacking each stage. The first stage, the thesis, is essentially an initial idea or proposition. It's the starting point, the seed from which everything else grows. It's a statement of how things are, or how we perceive them to be. For example, let's use the concept of freedom. The thesis could be, freedom is the absence of constraints. Next comes the antithesis. This is the opposition to the initial idea. It challenges the thesis, bringing in conflict and contradiction. The antithesis is not simply a denial of the thesis, but rather an engagement with it, a pushing against its boundaries. In our freedom example, an antithesis might be, freedom is not the absence of constraints, but the ability to choose one's own constraints. Finally, we arrive at the synthesis. The synthesis is not a compromise, nor is it a choosing of sides between the thesis and antithesis. Rather, it's a higher level of understanding, a new idea that reconciles the conflict between the thesis and antithesis. It absorbs and resolves the contradiction, creating a new proposition that draws from both the thesis and antithesis. In the case of our freedom example, a synthesis could be, freedom is the ability to choose one's constraints, and the awareness of the absence or presence of constraints. The Hegelian dialectic is not just a mental exercise, but a reflection of how ideas, perspectives, and even societies evolve through conflict and resolution. It's a cyclical process, with each synthesis becoming a new thesis, facing its own antithesis, and creating a new synthesis. It's a dance of ideas, a constant push and pull that drives growth and progress. In essence, it's a method of understanding how ideas or societies change and grow over time. The true beauty of the Hegelian dialectic lies in its simplicity and universal application. This elegant dance of ideas, this process of thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, is not confined to the dusty tomes of philosophy. It resonates in various fields, from politics to sociology, and even in our everyday lives. Let's delve into politics, for instance. The Hegelian dialectic is not an alien concept here. In fact, it's the backbone of democratic discourse. Picture this. A political party proposes a policy, the thesis. The opposition challenges it, presenting an antithesis. The ensuing debate, the clash of ideas, is where the magic happens. It's through this conflict, this struggle, that a new, more refined idea, the synthesis, is born. This synthesis then becomes the new thesis, setting the stage for another round of dialectic process. So you see, the Hegelian dialectic is not just a philosophical concept, it's the pulsating heart of our democratic system. Now let's shift our gaze to sociology. Social change, cultural evolution, they all follow the Hegelian dialectic. Take the fight for gender equality as an example. The traditional patriarchal society was the thesis. The feminist movement, demanding equal rights and opportunities, was the antithesis. The ongoing struggle between these two opposing ideas is gradually leading to a synthesis, a society that values the contributions of all its members, irrespective of their gender. Again, the Hegelian dialectic at work, shaping our societies, driving our evolution. And, of course, philosophy, the birthplace of the Hegelian dialectic. It's here that the process is most apparent in debates about morality, existence, knowledge, and so on. Each philosophical school of thought presents a thesis, Others challenge it with their antithesis. The resulting synthesis often pushes the boundaries of human understanding, leading us to new intellectual horizons. Understanding the Hegelian dialectic can enhance our perception of societal change and intellectual progress. It allows us to see that progress is not a linear path, but a spiral, moving forward through the clash of ideas. It teaches us that conflict, often seen as destructive, can be a catalyst for growth and evolution. The Hegelian dialectic is the underlying rhythm of our world, the silent melody that orchestrates our collective progress. It's in the democratic debates that shape our policies, in the social movements that mold our societies, in the philosophical discourses that expand our understanding. It's a testament to the power of ideas, to their ability to clash, meld, and evolve, driving our journey towards a better world. So the Hegelian dialectic is not just a philosophical concept, but a lens through which we can understand the world around us better. An understanding of this concept can help us make sense of the world, of the changes happening around us, and of the role we play in this grand symphony of ideas. But you might be wondering, how does the Hegelian dialectic apply to me? Well, it's not as distant from our daily lives as we might think. The Hegelian dialectic can actually be seen in many of our everyday activities and experiences. Let's delve into some examples. Consider the process of decision-making. Have you ever found yourself torn between two options, say deciding between pursuing a career that you're passionate about or one that's more financially stable? This is where the dialectic process comes into play. The career you're passionate about, that's your thesis, your original idea. The financially stable career, that's your antithesis, your counter-idea. You grapple with these two opposing ideas until you arrive at a synthesis, a resolution that combines aspects of both, like finding a career you enjoy that also pays the bills. Another example can be seen in personal growth. The person you are now is the thesis. The person you want to become is the antithesis. The synthesis is the person you eventually become after going through various experiences and learning from them. It's a continuous process of becoming, of synthesizing new versions of yourself. Furthermore, societal trends and changes also follow the Hegelian dialectic. Take, for instance, the shift from traditional to digital media. Traditional media was the thesis. The rise of digital media served as the antithesis. The tension between these two led to a synthesis, a media landscape today that combines elements of both, with newspapers having online platforms and TV shows being streamed on the internet. This is the magic of the Hegelian dialectic. It's a process of constant evolution, of tension and resolution, which shapes our lives and the world around us. It's a philosophical concept, yes, but it's also a lived reality. So, in a way, we all experience the Hegelian dialectic in our lives, whether we realize it or not. In our journey through the Hegelian dialectic, we've seen how this simple yet powerful concept shapes our understanding of the world. This journey began with us posing a question, a thesis, if you will. We learned that in Hegelian thought, every idea or action generates an opposing idea or action. This opposition, the antithesis, is not meant to defeat or nullify the thesis. Rather, it's meant to challenge and engage, to create a dialogue that pushes thought forward. We then delved deeper into the Hegelian dialectic, exploring its intricacies. We discovered that this isn't a destructive clash, but a constructive dance. It's the dance of ideas, the dance of progress. The thesis and antithesis don't merely struggle and vanish. Instead, they merge into a new form, the synthesis, a concept that takes the best of both and moves us closer to truth. Next, we looked at how the Hegelian dialectic permeates everyday life. It's not just a dusty philosophy concept confined to the ivory towers of academia, far from it. It's in the push and pull of political debates, the ebb and flow of social movements, and even the back and forth of our personal growth. The dialectic is everywhere, shaping and being shaped by the world. But why does this matter? Why should we care about a 200-year-old philosophy concept? The answer is simple. The Hegelian dialectic isn't just about ideas. It's about how ideas evolve, how societies progress, how we as individuals grow. By understanding the dialectic, we gain a tool to navigate the world, to understand change, to see the dance of ideas that lies beneath the surface of everything. So the next time you see a societal change or a shift in ideas, remember the Hegelian dialectic and the intricate dance of thesis, antithesis, and synthesis.